purpose of getting away from the house and getting away from the refrigerator, getting away from being cooped up in four walls, right? Because I'm unemployed now, I don't work. And so basically, I'm living my best Zen life. I worked all my life, and now I'm just like trying to heal my body, trying to heal my mind. Lost 60 pounds, lost 70 pounds. I gained back some during the winter, so I'm going to be working on that. And, I'm 58 years old, so I'm not a young gal anymore. And as we age, our body changes, our metabolism changes. And I have a non working tool, right? Yep, non working tool. But I keep active, I keep healthy, I try to choose the right choices. Because along the way, since I started on this path of September of 2000, actually January of 2012, right? I had my surgery in September of 2012. And had the lap band. It only worked for a short while metabolically. At the time, they thought the lap band was great, and it really helped with weight loss. But now, through the years, they found out that it only works like maybe 10%, 10% for some people, 10%. It helps people, and some people doesn't even help at all, right? So then they have to revise, they gain all their weight back, or they've had some medical problems, mental issues, emotional issues, food issues, personal relationship issues, medical issues. They've had an injury and they gain all their weight back. But we've heard it all through our course of our lives. Those who have a weight problem. There's many different issues that we face, whether it's genetic and whether it's trauma as a child, maybe because we chose the wrong foods, maybe we've been depressed, maybe we've always been heavy since we were a baby, maybe our mothers didn't tell us how to exercise and our family members were enablers, or maybe our spouses or our partners, or they like to, they're feeders, or they're all kinds of things. There are so many things involved in obesity that you can't really pinpoint one. 2004, and then I wound up in a big health emergency. I had gained 75 pounds. This is when I was married. I had gained a little weight, maybe 10 pounds. I was never really obese, or I was maybe a little bit overweight, maybe 10 pounds. And then I would go on a diet and I lose the 10 pounds. And then a year later, I gained it back. My pregnancy, I gained 30 pounds. I lost 10 pounds. And then I was always fighting the 20-pound regain. But I really had to work on my diet. Wasn't too much of fitness, but I was really strict about my diet through my 20s. I got pregnant at 25. And, I didn't come from a family of skinny minis. But, I wound up having a lap band, chose a lap band, and maybe it was the wrong choice metabolically, but can't really change anything. What is done is done. So now I have to try to live my best life, right? And so this is a new season for me, and I'm working on some things. I worked on some, have some regain during the winter. That's normal, right? But I gained 70 pounds. Pregnancy of delivery, I'm down to 160 pounds. And so I'd like to move the needle maybe another 5 pounds. I've lost some inches. I've decreased the sugar intake. I've reined it in as far as unhealthy eating. My husband, is a temptationer. He, eats all kinds of processed foods. And the other day he asked me if I want some mozzarella sticks or some Fridays poppers and stuff like that. I said, no, I'm on a restrictive of no processed foods and no sugar. So you can eat them. No, thank you. Eat them all you want. I'm not eating them. Yeah. So yay for me. Non-scale victory. Yeah. I choose the right foods now because I'm trying to move the needle another 5 pounds. This is me, after 2013, lost all my weight. Um, I got down to a normal weight. This was me in 2004. I wasn't obese. I wasn't a little bit, maybe 5 pounds overweight. Because I'm a little shorty. I used to be 5'4", but I've shrunk an inch through the years, and depending upon so we have a tendency to slouch, and I do have a curvature of the spine. My mom had kyphoidosis. My mom had a curvature of the spine. So, but to give you a body shot, what I'm working with, yeah. So, I was very skinny, went down to a 15% body fat. I was a normal child. As we get older, we gain fat, right? As a woman, right? Postmenopause. And I live my best life now. I try to choose whole foods, natural foods. I try to stay away from sweets, and so if I need a sweet, it's the worst choice, it's the best choice, or it's the intermediate choice. And say probably would have had diabetes, probably would have had high blood pressure, probably would have blew out my gallbladder, maybe blew out my liver, have fatty liver disease. Who knows? Being that fat, my legs were swollen. I had Flintstone legs. They were swollen as could be. That's my one ankle. And the doctors told me, "Oh, you look good. You look good. There's nothing wrong with you." Until I went to a bariatric surgeon and said, I need some help. My bestie girl, she had bariatric surgery. She had the lap band and lost the weight, gained it all back, and then switched to gastric bypass. And that's when I met her, when she was getting ready for gastric bypass. I thought the long-term solution for my obesity was going to be the lap band choice. But as it turned out, years later, studies show long-term weight loss after 5 years. Let's roll the dice, huh? Roll the dice after 5 years. But I'm 7 years out, and I've gained only 6 pounds. I struggle with the 10-pound weight gain. I gain it, I lose. The only way that I could correct it is through maybe a thigh lift or liposuction. If I paid maybe $15,000, $10,000, getting the knees done, because after you have thick legs like this and you lose 70 pounds or 65 pounds, and those knees, they're not very pretty, but nobody's going to look at my legs. I'm almost 59 years old. I can go to the bathing suit. I can go to the beach, and nobody's really going to want to look at me. They're going to want to look at the 25-year-old or the 20-year-old. They don't want to look at a middle-aged woman, especially the old men. Old men. I had a guy on the beach just last year with me and my husband. He said, "Yeah, I like to come and look." He was like 50-some years old. He said, "I like to come look at the 20-year-olds." And I'm like, "Oh, you don't like to look at 50-year-olds?" He says, "No." He was like 65, right? Old, like big gut and stuff like that. So I guess he was getting his jollies off looking at the old girls playing volleyball, young girls. But yeah, so this is me. I mean, I had a lot of cellulite. I had a lot of fat, but I did manage to, after dieting and exercise, I turned out pretty good. There are my normal legs. Normal legs. They're not rocket legs, but they're okay. So my thighs turned out okay. You could see the muscles, and that was me doing Ironman, and I was at the best shape of my life. So yeah, I switched my life around, and I won't go back to that same person. Nah. So I have a video I'd like to discuss with you. Also, I have some, I have some, these are all my seeds that I collected last year. They're all on this big thing for my flowers. So I'm going to plant them in my garden. And I ordered all my seeds from the internet. And I have a soil tester that I'm going to send off. Always got to test when you start a garden. You should, especially a vegetable garden, you should test your soil. And these are all my seeds that I collected. I do have some seeds that I ordered, like zinnia online. These are California 1500 seeds. So I usually plant some vegetables. I'm going to plant some herbs in pots. Because I do organic gardening, here's some seeds that I'm going to plant. And I usually get my seeds from Amazon, wanting for bad foods. So I don't watch regular TV anymore.
Rye, oats.
See?
That's right. Whole grain. Wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Bad dog, no biscuit. Oil in a bottle. Fried food. Meat cooked well done. Meat
Barbecue.
that has nitrates added as preservatives. The skins of baked potatoes.
Unless
Yams,
they're organic.
sweet potatoes. A carbonated beverage with a meal. Carbonated beverages with a meal.
We're
I
not
don't care
supposed
if
to
it's
eat or
Perrier,
drink with our foods, right?
sparkling water, beer, club soda, or champagne. If it has bubbles in it, do not drink it with a meal. Soy and corn. That's right, soy and corn. These foods are bad for the human body. And if you eat these foods, it's only a matter of time until the net negative effects that they generate in your body add up.
Inflammation,
very much
fatty
like the
liver.
straws that broke the camel's back. If you unwittingly consume food that's hurting your body every single day, it's only a matter of time until something goes wrong. One of the biggest myths that's persistent in the popular culture of the 21st century is the myth of your stomach to break apart the amino acids inside the gluten protein.
So a lot of us have GERD, like me, and they say that it's too much stomach acid. No, it's the total opposite. You're low in stomach acid. When you have low stomach acid, you can't digest the food. Your stomach doesn't work properly, and that's why people get SIBO, they get yeast overgrowth and stuff like that. Long term, yeah, we cut our stomachs out or we altered our stomachs, but because we couldn't learn the proper way to eat or exercise, so we had to use a surgery that would try to bounce us back and reset our mind or reset our body for a time. And then, but at the same time, we might be ruining something else. So I'll attach the card, take a look at it. You'll learn something. Research it for yourself. Don't listen to me. But a lot of the food that's packaged